guys, and welcome to our review of Megalo Box, episode 6. I'm your host of Cinder Blaze, and today we have...
Makotoa.
Oh, man. So we get the conclusion to the Aragaki and Joe fight, and that was intense. And, like, for the first part of this episode, I felt like it was kind of grindy and kind of, like, real slow. But once it picked up, it just went off. How do you feel about this, man?
I enjoyed it from start to finish. Even at the very beginning when they were still counting the numbers to 10 to see if Joe was gonna actually get up, because I had no idea. Who knows, man? He could have just lost this one.
Yeah.
And this could have just been resolved like in another fight later or something like that. Who knows? So kept me on the edge of my seat a whole lot. I like the backstory type stuff. I think whereas it's not like the most flashy type of animation you see, because it's not Sword Art Online where they're like jumping and stabbing with swords and all that junk. I don't know. This is still boxing, but the animation was good. It was fluid. Is it fluid? Would fluid be a good?
No, I think like in the early parts of the fight, like more when it was more when they're kind of like talking and stuff, like that's when like the boxing animation slowed down. But once like Joe like got up again and started picking up the pace for his own boxing, that's when the animation kind of just got reallocated back into
it was real good. And I mean, I'm just realizing that the ending theme has like nothing in it. So I guess that's all the ending theme budget has been spent on the actual show, which I'm totally fine with, personally.
That was oh man, like I don't even know where to start with. Let's just start with like Aragaki. I feel like this fight did have like a few flashbacks. I think it was more like towards the end at least. But I perfectly understood like what they're trying to go for in Aragaki's like character. Like his flashbacks are purposeful, and his like problem was really relatable. Like at the first sight of his former trainer, he just snaps at him super hard because like it's a very traumatic experience. Like this is the guy who abandoned him and all that other junk. But then like once he like calms down, kind of talks to Joe, and he actually gets in the ring, like he doesn't feel like he's gonna be doing that same stuff, maybe like
I think it varied from part to part, because he lost his composure when he kept hearing Joe like mumbling under his breath the whole like 50%, like keep your weight distributed, and he was like, that's not gonna work against me. He started getting upset. It's like maybe he was in a way fighting himself, his younger self, or he wanted to prove that he was still strong enough to like defeat that. I don't know.
Or like maybe there was like some sense of like him being like the rightful boxer underneath the Coach Nambu. And like when Joe was kind of like saying that, like there's part of me thinking that he was kind of like provoking him, and there's also another part of me that's thinking like maybe if he like adopts a stance that he's using, that he'll find out a way like to beat him, because he'll be using ways to combat his usual fighting style, so he can probably like pick up whatever he's throwing at him. But they didn't really go that route. It was more like he was like continuously kind of like pressuring him, and apparently despite him using gear and landing punches on him over and over again, apparently Joe just doesnn give a crap.
We got the information this episode that Joe is like just an iron, red hot iron or something like that. How do they say it? That he is
his body
he's the most durable. Cast iron. He's the most durable guy in the underworld or something like that. Okay, sure. I mean, that's because it was funny that they mentioned that he was using like garbage gear that probably did not much.
Yeah, and
so
like honestly, I don't think Joe ever overtook him in this fight. But like he was just like taking all the punches, and he was like kind of like maintaining his like stance the entire way through, and like at a certain point Aragaki couldn't do that. Like
that was an endurance test, and because of like his knees, his legs, it was just he couldn't outlast Joe.
Yeah, so he literally couldn't follow through on like the same kind of teachings that Nambu kind of gave him, just like, keep up that stance the entire time, like in the fight. So he decides, like, like the best way to kind of like end this is to forfeit himself. And I felt like the way they kind of like handled that, like, as an audience member, I'm just like, I would think that this guy's career is dead, because like, why would you ever want to go to this guy's game if he's the type of person who just like forfeit? But like, everyone kind of knew why he forfeited. Like, that wore him down, like, if he really wanted to have it tomorrow, he picked the best path to do so, and continuing that fight wasn't it. So that was just like, I guess, like, he's still faithful to Nanbu's kind of like teachings, but he doesn't do it in the ring, because that's not where it's meant to be. He's moved on, right?
What did you think of the ticket? What did you think of that?
I don't know, like, it was all right. I feel like if they kind of put some more like setup into it, it would have felt a little bit more. But like, maybe it was like something for when he comes back, so kind of like shows that Nambu still believed in him. But it's just, it was like a sweet gesture from Nambu, and I don't really think I can find anything beyond that for me personally.
Well, perhaps from a different perspective, and I will have to give shout outs to whoever Ratchet Crab, who posted it on Crunchyroll comments for the episode, because I just happened to read it just now. The ticket didn't keep him from getting shot by others. It kept him from getting shot, or from shooting himself. That was the significance of it, when he said that, it kept me alive type thing. It was just like, it cuts deep, knowing that sometimes the only thing that keeps us going is the little things.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Props to Ratchet Crab.
Yeah.
Because that definitely makes it feel a lot more significant. And maybe, they could have mentioned it a little bit more, or give it a bit more focus, because I vaguely remember it from the last episode, like, as it was falling out of his pocket, but I didn't know what it was. And then, like, they explain it this episode. But interesting.
Like, I mean, like, I understood, like, that was supposed to be a thing that would, like, keep him from killing himself. Like, the only thing I didn't get was, like, why. But, like, now that when you kind of say it, it was more like, when Nanbu gave it to him, he's just like, I hope you come back alive. Like, hopefully this is, like, your talisman to ward off bullets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, like, I get Nambu's intentions with that kind of thing, and
I like that they're trying to be more. They're trying to give more depth to this show. You know, even though it might not be the most incredible twist I've ever seen. I don't know,
it wouldn't even fit. Like,
still very much appreciated.
Yeah, and I think like the last part of this episode was the little ceremony where they announced the third entry in the Megalo Boxing tournament, which I think it's only 4 people, right, for the entire thing. Yeah, I don't think it's like a full-fledged tournament. Yeah,
I was too distracted by what the like Lion Man dude was doing, his like facial expressions, and then like flipping the earpiece out of his ear.
I thought like he found like a huge ass dick in his mane or something, just like threw it out there. But yeah, that was interesting. And like, when the audience members were actually asking like, hey, how about Gearless Joe, because like everyone else was kind of thinking that our guy could get the last spot for the tournament. So I'm assuming there's only one more, and I think they told us in the beginning. But with Gearless Joe beating him, and like everyone else who's kind of like involved in Megalo Boxing doesn't really want him there. Like, Yuri still has unfinished business with them, but it's not like he wants him to be in the Megalo Boxing ring, right? And then we have Shirato, who she kind of like gives like this political answer and kind of like brushes it off to the side. But I think the other dude kind of looks like her. Maybe it's her brother or maybe something else. But the dude with the white coat was just kind of saying like, there's no room for stray dogs in Megalo Boxing.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. I am actually kind of I want to see a little bit more of this before we kind of get into the final fights for Joe, mostly because I want to see there to be actually for there to actually be a reason for them to select Gearless Joe into this tournament, because the whole thing about Megalo Boxing is using the gears for boxing as opposed to
Yeah.
whatever the heck that Joe is using. Oh yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
So
Nothing.
like if he earns a place in Megalo Boxing, I feel like the only reason they would do that is so he can get smashed so hard to show
Yes.
the gap between a gear
Yeah.
and a gearless fighter.
That Yuri would be like, it's fine. I'll eviscerate him.
Yeah, like, and that's like, like if they're trying to sell their gears, I'm not even sure if that will even be like a thing. Like he has to do something to provoke someone on that side so hard. Maybe it's another like bout with Yuri. Maybe he like beats him in a street fight or something. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but
We're not gonna see that. No, not with the remaining 6 episodes we have.
yeah. But maybe like one of the Strato people, that would be nice to see.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts for this episode?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that's it for us. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the description for all of our social media links, including that juicy Discord link as well. And we'll catch you later. Keep it juicy.
See ya.
And we out of here. Look at us. We're in space. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put the black hole in this one. Uh-oh. Corey's going to get pissed off.
You'll never know.
I don't know. He might randomly check the ending. Or he might suddenly care.
Doubtful.